Hello and welcome to the Feel Better podcast. I'm Charlotte the counsellor and I've been a counsellor for the last 20 years. This is a space where I show up and share with you the stories, strategies and ideas that I've gleaned over my time helping people to navigate the things that keep them from feeling their best. Whether that's to do with your own well-being, parenting or relationships, I'm here to help you feel better. Thanks for joining me. Well, welcome along to today's episode where we're going to be talking about connection. This is a really common challenge that I hear about all the time from couples, that they're feeling disconnected from one another, they're not sure where that sense of connection has gone, they wake up and go, I don't even know if I love this person anymore, we just feel super distant. Maintaining connection in a relationship is really hard when our lives get buried under piles of life admin and busyness. So today what I want to do is give you some ideas around how do you restore and maintain connection within your relationship, given this is such a common challenge. One of the things I think we need to realize about relationships is that in the early days, we're often doing lots of things that spark that sense of connection. And over time, we drop off those activities or habits or ways of engaging with one another. And then we end up kind of surprised that the connection isn't there. So today there are going to be a whole lot of reminders about getting back to some basics, how you put in some effort to make sure you enjoy connection within your relationship. One of the things for us as couples living together is that we kind of can be fooled into thinking the amount of time that we spend together is going to equate magically somehow to a sense of connection with one another. And that isn't true. We have to put in a lot more effort than that. So let's get into the points of today's episode, all about inspiring you to restore connection in your relationship. The first thing I'm going to explain is a really helpful concept from the Gottman Institute, which is an institute in America that does a whole lot of study around relationships. And they have this really helpful concept around bids within relationships. So a bid is an effort that your partner makes to connect with you. It might be a touch, it might be a question, a look, or a comment. If you think about it like this, it's kind of like they throw you a ball and then you're deciding whether you're going to catch that ball or not. So a bid is basically like an invitation to connect with us. And there are three different responses that we can have. We either turn towards our partner in that moment where we engage with the bid, we catch the ball, or we turn away from them. We ignore it. We don't respond. We just don't catch the ball. And then the other thing people do in response to bids is we can turn against our partner in that moment. And that's when we respond with contempt or disgust or a snide remark, or we shut them down actively in some way. So turning towards them, turning away from them, or literally turning against them, like really throwing it back in their face is the way I think you can think about that. Now, what the Gottman Institute have shown through their research is that couples who turn towards one another's bids have more success, happiness, and connection in their relationship. In fact, couples who report high connection in their relationship turn towards their partner's bids 87% of the time. And couples who end up separating or divorced only turn towards one another's bids 33% of the time. So we know that turning towards our partner's little bids for connection is what creates that sense of safety and trust in relationships. And turning away from them is a surefire way to end up feeling disconnected. What this really reinforces too is that it is the little things, the little ways that we interact that help shape the satisfaction and sense of connection in our relationships. So I encourage you, if you're in a partnered relationship right now, to talk about this concept of bids. Try and understand, what is it that you do that is trying to get my attention? Where do I miss the mark? Where you're throwing a ball and I'm not even catching it? Where is it that you're trying to get my engagement where I might be dropping the ball at this time? And look throughout this next week to spot those times that your partner is making bids and try and create a really genuine effort to turn towards their bids for connection with you. The second point I want to make is it is about the daily rituals that we have. So many couples that I talk to in relationship therapy, when I ask them about how their relationship looks on a day-to-day basis, they're missing lots of really basic little things, even like saying hello to each other in the morning. Even things like acknowledging when the person has come home or asking about their day and connecting with them in some way. A hug, hello, or goodbye is really important and simple. So, those little rituals, I encourage you to get back to those absolute basic things that are courteous and warm, where you're showing a little bit of effort and you've got something that's kind of ritualistic about that, like taking them their morning coffee or putting the toast down for them. Those little things that show that you care and keep you engaged with one another's lives. It is really easy to live under the same roof and feel disconnected from one another because you're living independent lives. So, making those little points where you cross over during your day is surprisingly important. It never ceases to amaze me when I'm working with couples, the number of things they say they are just not doing in terms of kindness and care for one another in their day-to-day lives. My third point is try and stay connected during the day. So for a lot of couples, they work apart during the day. Someone might be traveling for work. You might have a relationship that looks a bit like a tag team. Now, if you are completely ignoring your partner when they are away from you, that doesn't help your sense of connection. And I think the odd little message or phone call or check-in in some way, even if it's sending them a funny meme or letting them know that you're thinking of them, can be really helpful to create that sense that you're actually a team, that you're going about your individual, distinct day, but you're in this together. So maintaining those points of connection, letting them know that you care about them is something that you can easily drop into your week. Now, do I think you need to be calling each other every lunchtime and asking how your day is going? No, I don't. But the odd little check-in, thinking of you, looking forward to tonight, catching up on that Netflix show together. Hey, this weekend, I'd really love to go to coffee at that new place. Whatever it is that you can do that maintains that sense of we are in this together is really significant for feeling connected emotionally to your partner. No one wants to live a life that is just all about the functional things where you head off in your different directions and that is that for the day. Try and get that sense that you're on the same team and you're in this together. Number 4, I want you to think about rhythms in your relationship. So often couples talk to me about the patterns that they have of disconnection, particularly in the evening. Now, I get it that our lives are busy. Sometimes we just want a bit of blob time in the evening. We want a bit of time without pressure or tasks to do. Sometimes we even just need a little bit of time within ourselves at the end of the day. Now, I get that, and that is a reality. But what are the rhythms around the times that you do connect? So instead of setting yourself up with a really unrealistic expectation that we're going to connect together every evening on the couch, we're going to have a deep and meaningful conversation about how we're doing and our life goals and whatever it is, you don't actually need to do that. But earmarking some time that is your time on is really helpful. So what if it's on a Tuesday and a Thursday night, we try and have quality time together. We don't open our computers to look at our work emails. We're making an effort to get the dishes done before the kids are in bed so we can have that time together in the evening. We're planning what we want to do with that time together. We're making those times when we're on for each other really obvious within the week. Sometimes too, we need a bit of help to make that connection time work within our relationship. And I'm a really big fan of setting up rhythms that keep you going when it comes to that time for connection. So what about once a fortnight, once a month, having a night that the kids are going to a babysitter or something is happening that allows you to have time off together? And this might look really different in different seasons and for different families. Maybe you do need to be there for every bedtime with your children. That's okay, and I get it. But you can go out and do a first table, have an early dinner, and then get home for that bedtime, putting them down routine. Think about the stage of life that you are in and how you maintain that sense of connection in a way that has some rhythm to it. I love the idea of asking once instead of constantly thinking, oh no, now I need to ask someone to help me. Can you do something that sets up a rhythm? Hey, grandparents, can we send the kids to you one night every month so that we have this time together regularly? The next thing I want to share with you is about learning how to share feelings and not just a factual recount of your day. This is something that I work on a lot with couples where they have this really surface level conversation about what happened within their day and they exchange facts. Now, that is not a really good way to get a sense of closeness with another person. So, I think a lot of people need to really scale up their ability to ask good questions within their relationship. So, if you're talking to your partner about their day, you could ask, how was that for you? What is that like for you that this situation is happening around you at work? How do you feel when your boss does that? What do you feel when you come home after a day like that? Now, I know that that is a lot of feelings questions, but you want to drop down into that sense of really getting to know what's happening internally for your partner, not just what is it that is going on functionally and behaviorally in their lives. Learn how to ask good feelings questions that allow you to get into their mind and heart and see what is happening for them. Tell me about how that reminds you of that situation that happened years ago, or what is that push for you? Or, gosh, that must be really tough. Tell me more about that. Or, for me, I'd react like this. What happens for you when that situation occurs? So, the focus here is not just on what did they do, but how was that for you? Okay, you knew that this was going to be somewhere in this episode, but I'm going to talk about it. You need to put your phone away. Now, I get it that there are times that everybody wants to have a little bit of a doom scroll. People like to have that kind of flop on the couch at the end of the day and catch up on messages or news or read something interesting. And I love that for you, but I don't love that for your relationship. And I think something we need to focus on is those times when our phones are literally away. So let me remind you of some of the basic neuroscience of putting your phone away. If you put your phone away, you maintain eye contact more with your partner. That releases oxytocin, which is a really nice hormone to have flooding through your brain and your body. Your dopamine regulates, your cortisol lowers. All of these great benefits happen when you disconnect from your phone and focus on that connection with your partner. Your amygdala, the source of anxiety, slows and calms down, and your default mode network activates, which is the part of your brain that's responsible for problem solving and reflection and creative thinking. They are all really good benefits of putting that damn phone away. So make some time when you are connecting with your partner without your phone. I'd love you to think about, when was the last time that you had quality time with your partner phone free? Maybe you're having to think about that a little bit too hard, but keeping phones out of the bedroom, having a couple of nights where you're spending quality time together and you also don't have your phone on you is super important. The other little tip I have is find the quick, enjoyable things that you can do together. So many couples have activities that they find enjoyable, but they take a long time. We have to travel somewhere, or we love going away skiing. We feel really connected when we do that, but there's kind of a whole lot of effort and it has to be winter for you to be going away skiing. So I'd love you to think about, what are the little super low energy things that you can do within your relationship that you enjoy, that are fun, and that give you a sense of quality time together. I'm going to share a super personal one here, and that is that my husband and I love to sit up watching Drumeo videos. Now, if you've got no idea what Drumeo is, it is a YouTube channel where drummers do drumming things. Now, I have got a background as a drummer. When I was 11 years old, my parents bought me a drum kit. It was kind of a distraction from a whole lot of other really hard things that were happening within my family. And the thing that I'm known about, if you ask people who went to school with me or even people from surrounding schools, they will tell you, oh, yeah, she was the one who played drums. I absolutely love drums. I got quite good at it. My husband, when we met, was doing a music degree, and it's just like this little throwback thing that we both enjoy together. We both enjoy music. We love listening to music together. We love watching something super entertaining. So they have this series where a drummer from a different genre gets given a song that they've never heard before without the drum part, and they have to make up the drums for that song. Now, honestly, it takes zero energy from us to watch a Drumeo video, but it is a time of connection in our relationship. It's something we enjoy together. It's something that we will engage with, that we'll talk about together. It's a distraction. It's creative. It's novel. And it is a really, really easy thing to do where we both come away from that going, oh, that was a cool night. Maybe it's because it makes us feel young and cool again. I don't know what it is. So find those easy things you can do in your relationship that help you to have something accessible, low energy, that maintains that sense of connection even when your energy is low. You're in trouble if all of the things that you do for connection in your relationship take 2 hours. The other thing I remind couples to do is talk about the big picture. Talk about your goals, talk about your dreams, talk about one day when scenarios. What is it that you're wanting to achieve in the next year? How's the next quarter going to go for you? What are you working on when it comes to yourself? What are your career ambitions right now, and how do I support those things? How's that thing going that you're working on? What is it that you're noticing changing at the gym? Whatever it is that you can talk about that invites you into their goals and ambitions, those conversations just go off the boil when you're not connected to one another. So they're a really important thing to return if you're wanting to get more connection going. Now, as much as it is driving me a little bit bonkers at the moment that we're living in a house that we're renovating, it has been so cool to work with my husband on projects. And what I mean by working with my husband on projects, have to admit, is more I'm on Pinterest and he's on the tools, but still, it is a great sense of achievement to be doing something together. So I challenge you to think about, what is it that you could do together within your relationship? What's a project or something that you could learn or tackle that gives you a sense of achievement and team together? Maybe you need to think about a little brainstorm of ideas, let yourself have the brainstorm. Some of the ideas might be naff, and then pick a couple of things that you like off that list. It can lead to great relationship satisfaction when you're working together on something. And one of the things that this really helps with too is it gets our brain into a space that is more novel and where we're growing and learning and changing. That refreshes us and feels super good. So if you haven't done something together by way of a shared project lately, it is something I encourage you to give a go. Now, let me let you in on something I often talk about with relationship therapy couples. Something that happens in relationships is people get really quite transactional about the way that they say thank you for things. So they might say, thanks for putting out the rubbish. Kind of doesn't really hit the mark. What about, hey, when you do that for me, I feel these things, or that is how that helps my day. When you put the rubbish out, I feel seen, I feel supported, I feel like we're a team. It really helps my day to feel settled and calm and in control. So what is it that you can say about how their behavior makes you feel? Hey, thank you for doing that thing for me. I really appreciated it because it made me feel. So try and get those feelings back into the relationship. People love to hear that things that they do for you impact you and your feelings, not just that that was a task that was off your list. So I encourage you to dive into those feelings when you're saying thank you or showing appreciation for something. Now, if you're a person who's feeling a little bit disconnected in your relationship, I want to ask you this question. When did you last praise your partner? I suspect that it might be a little while ago. We all enjoy praise. We all enjoy hearing what we're doing well. We all enjoy feeling seen, that someone is looking at our efforts or observes our character, our qualities, and our strengths and likes those things. They see us doing well in life and they comment on those things. I think early on in relationships, we're really quick to say what we like and what we notice. And something that disappears from relationships over time is those little remarks of praise. So take a moment today to think about, when did I last praise my partner, and what are the things that I observe them doing, that I observe about their character, that I see in their life right now that I could call out and bring some attention and praise to. And my last point is, if you're feeling disconnected from one another, I really encourage you to work on your conflict. Now, another stat from the Gottman Institute is that 69% of issues within relationships are recurring, but that it doesn't matter what the conflict is that happens, it matters how we respond to that. Now, what this suggests is that the things that are difficult for us in our relationship, the dynamics that cause conflict between us, might actually be enduring throughout our relationship. The dynamic or the issue doesn't necessarily change, but our response to that issue does change over time. So what we're not setting up here is an expectation that our relationships will be without conflict or that those buttons won't get pushed from time to time. But what we want to do is learn to be really good at how we resolve that conflict. We want to have a way of working through that. We want to be able to have a clear sense of what the issues are, how we're pushing one another's buttons, and how we get out of that as quickly as we can. I talk about with conflict how what we want is less of a kind of sharp line of the graph of the ups and downs in our relationship. We want to smooth that out so that the conflicts don't go as deep and they don't last as long. We want to make that a smoother process when it comes to how we respond to conflict. So we're not setting ourselves up with the expectation that there's not going to be conflict, but what we're doing is owning the fact that that is a reality in relationships, and we're trying to get really good at how we resolve conflict. Now, if you're listening to this episode and you're someone who probably needs to do a little bit of work on your relationship, you want to hit that reset button, you want things to feel fresh again and to feel super well connected to each other, I really encourage you to check out Give Me 10 Minutes, which is my course for couples who want that reset in their relationship. I recognize that there are a lot of couples that kind of need to get to couples counseling, but never quite get there because it doesn't feel like the issue's bad enough or it's really hard to make it. But you want to do some learning and growing together, and you want to feel better within your relationship. So I made Give Me 10 Minutes just for you. There are 50 couples as of today that have been through the Give Me 10 Minutes course, and it is proving to be something that is really helpful. A lot of people are saying, gosh, we needed this years ago. We wish that we started this earlier. We don't know how you can see exactly into our relationship and totally know what the issues are. You've made something that is exactly right for us right now. So if you want to put some effort in on the connection front, grab Give Me 10 Minutes. It is super easy. A 10-minute audio each week that you both listen to over a 6-week period, and a super easy to follow discussion guide that I've made that follows each episode and allows you to have a really good conversation together. After you've listened to that episode, make some plans, agree what you're going to do in response, and gain some insights into each other's world. Okay, so let me do a recap when it comes to connection within your relationship. You need to understand the bids that your partner makes and respond positively, turning towards them when they are throwing you a ball, looking for that moment of connection. Don't forget those daily rituals, those absolute basics of the times throughout your day-to-day life when you're connecting with each other. Stay connected during the day if you can, and think about the rhythms that you have of when is the time on within our relationship where we're intentionally trying to connect with each other. Focus on sharing more about feelings than just facts, and get those goddamn phones away. Top piece of relationship advice for almost all relationships. I know it's unrealistic to have them away all the time, but try and define when they are going to be away, because you're going to get a whole lot of benefits for your brain, your body, and your relationship by simply putting that phone away. Find the quick, enjoyable things that you can do together. Try and have a shared project or goal that you're working towards. Talk to them about the bigger picture for them, what they're trying to achieve, what their hopes and dreams are right now. Focus on sharing how you feel when they do particular things. Don't forget to praise them, and pay some attention to the conflict within your relationship and how you're resolving that in a smoother way going forward. I hope this has given you some new ideas, maybe some facts and things that really encourage you towards greater connection with your partner. But one of my main messages today is this: don't walk around in your relationship with this expectation that being disconnected from one another is okay. You can do so much better than this. I want more for you, and I want you to want more for yourself. No one signs up wanting to create a relationship where they just don't feel fulfilled, connected, or supported. But it is some really basic day-to-day things that we can do that create that culture within our relationship where connection is something we expect, we want, and we work on. I'd love to hear from you if there are some things that you try from today's episode, so do feel free to reach out to me. You can email me hello@charlottecummings.nz, find me on Instagram or Facebook. I would love to hear from you if there are some things that you give a go. Thanks for joining me today on the Feel Better podcast. I'm super proud of you for spending this time prioritizing your well-being and hopefully learning a few things to help you navigate the tough stuff in life. I'd love to stay connected, so come and find me on Instagram @CharlotteTheCounsellor. on Facebook, Charlotte Cummings Counselling, or head over to my website, charlottecummings.nz, where there's heaps of free resources waiting for you. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.